Hi, you're listening to the Love and Money podcast, and today I'm going to talk about Tesla and what's going on with Tesla. So, there's a former Tesla employee who was awarded $137 million for a racism lawsuit. So, Tesla failed to stop racial harassment for a person by the name of Owen Diaz, who is a black elevator operator. He won $130 million in punitive damages and $6.9 million for emotional distress. The person claimed weight loss and sleepless nights for a hostile work environment, being called the N word, racist graffiti, cartoons in his workspace and the toilets, and being told to go back to Africa by colleagues. This happened a different time on a different occasion by the name of a person by the name of Melvin Berry, who was called the N word by a supervisor, given unfair work, and this person won $1 million in their lawsuit. On a separate occasion, back in 2017, there was a person by the name of Marcus Vaughn who did a class action lawsuit. He claimed that Tesla is a hotbed for racist behavior, that he was fired for not having a positive attitude, racial slurs, and that he witnessed a coworker getting beaten with a chair. So they have a union over there called the More Perfect Union, and 100 current and former employees have encountered racism at Tesla, being called the N word, given demeaning assignments, and barriers for promotion, meaning that they were not promoted. So the vice president over there, by the name of Valerie Capers Workman, who is also Black, asserts that they were they were called the N word in a friendly manner. So I don't know about you, but the N word is never a friendly manner in the workplace. So this is what the vice president is saying. The vice president is also saying that he didn't complain until he was not hired full time. So Tesla has what they call arbitration. They use arbitration to protect themselves. What private arbitration is it favors employers. So anytime you're signing documents and you see the word arbitration, you should think twice because that means that the company is protecting themselves. Anytime you go into private arbitration, you are signing off your rights as favoring the employers. So they use mandatory arbitration to quell legal actions by employers and to force them to settle privately. But in this case, Owen Diaz, he did not sign the agreement, so his case made it to court. So when you're not signing documents for arbitration, that way you'll be able to proceed to court in the final stages. And that's what happened with Owen Diaz. So he won $130 million in punitive damages and $6.9 million for emotional distress. And so, what is the lesson in this? The lesson in this is that racism is alive and well, whether you want to admit it or not, whether you want to see it or not, whether you want to pretend that it doesn't exist or not. Racism is still alive and well. And so, if in the event that you are encountering racism, sue. A lot of people do not want to sue, even though they are going through something like this, which people claim that is difficult to prove. A lot of people do not want to sue if they're undergoing something like this. The reason being is that it costs a lot of money to sue. It's going to cost you at least $20,000 to hire an attorney and sue. So a lot of people that are going through racism on the job did not sue. They figure, why would I pay this much money, out of my pocket for something that is difficult to prove, and you may win and you may not win. So the lesson in this, if you are dealing with racism, is to sue. The reason being is that these are $1 million cases. In the event that you win over $1 million. Not only that, that you're helping the people that are going to come after you. You're making their load a little bit lighter. Maybe they won't have to deal with the things that you're dealing with because you stood up. You did something that wasn't easy to do. You stood up. So the lesson in this is, if you're dealing with racism, stand up, sue. So he won his lawsuit. This is going on at Tesla. It's a very prevalent problem. Like I said, the union over there, there's been over 100 people who have complained about racist behavior, which is pretty uncommon because usually people who are facing racism, they usually don't say anything. They don't stand up. They take it. And it's kind of uncommon for people to sue, even though they are suffering from it. So the fact that Owen Diaz stood up, he said something, and he won, it means a lot. It's going to help somebody else that comes in after him. So the lesson, what is the lesson in this? The lesson in this is, if you're facing racism, stand up and sue. The other lesson is, when you get your money together and you decide that you want to have an electric vehicle and you think you might want to get a Tesla, remember that Tesla does not like you. They don't like you. They have racial problems going on in that company. So that's the second lesson. They don't like you. So it's better to know than to not to know and to pretend like nothing is going on. So this is the Love and Money podcast with Shakira. If you like this podcast, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps the algorithm. Please share it, and please leave a comment. It helps the algorithm. Thank you for listening.